Let's bring in our CTV News political commentator, Scott Reid. Scott, thanks as always for joining us.
Hey, Roger.
Your reaction to the Liberals flipping Terrebonne first?
Well, this is kind of more of what we knew already, which is that the Liberals effectively have a working majority. They're right on a whisker away from having that actual technical majority. But, the bottom line is no matter how these vote recounts turn out, and, you could see some seats switch from the Liberal column into the Conservative as well, depending on how it goes in a couple of those Ontario ridings. We know that the Liberals won't have a majority government, a technical majority government at the end of this. The best they can do is be one seat shy, although I do point out to people that they have to pick a speaker, and that takes one voting member of the House off the board, and chances are in a minority parliament, the government's going to permit that speaker to be an opposition member.
Who do you think that might be? I've heard rumor of Elizabeth May possibly doing that. Do you think they would try and get a Conservative in there?
The deputy Speaker of the House of Commons, golly, his name is escaping me right now. I apologize. Chris Antermont, I think, from Atlantic Canada. I think is a popular choice. He's seen as a very stable hand and well experienced, so we could see that happen. Now, sometimes opposition parties will say, no, we want to keep the feet to the fire of the government. We are not going to give them a speaker. We're not going to lend them a vote or take a vote off the board. So there could be some parliamentary elbows flying at the end of the month when the House resumes.
And we've had the Bloc say, I've heard they're willing to prop them up for at least a year. Is that realistic?
Yeah, I think that it is. I mean, the Bloc's not going to be eager to go back into the wood chipper of an election after this result. They shed a ton of seats. And, I think if you're Mark Carney, we've heard him be very direct on this. I mean, he was asked, will you do a deal with the NDP or the Bloc? He just said, no. And then someone said, well, could you elaborate? And he goes, well, why would I? And I don't think it was arrogance. I think he was just making the point of, we've watched the results of a pact in the House of Commons over the course of the past 3 years, and it hurt Liberal popularity, to be blunt, although they were able to recover when they replaced their leader, and it really harmed the NDP's popularity. So with votes this close, I think if you're Mark Carney, you can, with a little care, pretty much preside over this parliament as though you have a majority, and you can feel relatively free that you can implement your agenda, particularly, as you point out, in this next year or so. And the NDP are in complete disarray. They're not going to want to pursue an election anytime soon.
Okay, Scott, thank you as always for your insight.
Have a great day.
You too, Scott Reid, our CTV News political commentator.